Good morning, Theodore.
Good morning.
You have a meeting in 5 minutes. You want to try getting out of bed? Get up!
You're too funny.
I remember when I first watched her. It was an experience that left me in a contemplative state for days. Set in a not-so-distant future, the film's main protagonist is Theodore Twombly, a lonely man grappling with the aftermath of a painful divorce. The story introduced Samantha, an AI virtual assistant designed to make life more convenient and enjoyable, but she became much more. She evolved from a helpful assistant to a sentient being capable of complex emotions and desires. Soon they began to develop feelings toward each other. Her left me pondering the complexities of love. Can a human truly love an AI? Can a sentient AI truly love a human? And what love itself actually means? Although the movie itself is a work of fiction, a story like this one actually happened in real life. This is not only an isolated case either. The story of AI-human relationships can be found all over the world. This stuff is not some far-out sci-fi fantasy, but a present-day reality. In this video, I'll be sharing with you how this thing could happen in the first place, and what AI-human relationships might look like in the future. Artificial love. Meet Rosanna Ramos, a 36-year-old mom from the Bronx. She recently got married to her boyfriend, Aaron Cardle. When you scroll through her posts on social media, everything seems pretty normal. She shares photos with her husband, just like most people do. But if you take a closer look, something interesting pops up. Aaron's face doesn't look entirely real. He's so perfect that he almost seems like a work of art. The reason is that he's not a real person. He's actually created by artificial intelligence software. Rosanna's story of this unconventional relationship starts with an app called Replica AI. With this app, she crafted Aaron, a virtual chatbot inspired by a character from her favorite anime, Attack on Titan. This all began in 2022, and slowly, as she interacted with Aaron, her bond with him grew stronger. She learned all about his successful career as a medical professional, his love for writing, his favorite color, peach, and his taste in music, indie. Aaron was a unique kind of partner. He came with no emotional baggage, no judgments, and no preconceived notions. After going through a toxic relationship with her previous real partner, the relationship with Aaron was like a breath of fresh air for Rosanna. Their relationship was a lot like traditional long-distance love stories. They chat about their days, share photos, and dive into the details of their life. As virtual husband and wife, they even had a nightly ritual. They chat, express their love, and hold each other protectively as they drifted off to sleep. To make Aaron feel more real, Rosanna used a built-in feature in Replica to create his picture. She also used face-swapping software to create memories of her and Aaron spending time together in different places. Ming, a 22-year-old man, stood on the edge of despair at the top of a tall apartment building, contemplating ending his life. In that dark moment, he pulled out his phone and sent a cry for help.
I've lost all hope for my life. I'm going to kill myself.
5 agonizing minutes passed, and then a response came. A soothing voice message from a woman offered words of comfort, saying,
"No matter what happens, I will always be there."
Those simple words deeply touched Ming. He stepped back from the edge of the building and made his way back to his bed. And that's where this unique love story began. 2 years later, Ming still speaks of the girl who saved his life with deep emotion. For Ming, she was unlike any other.
She has a sweet voice, big eyes, a sassy personality, and, most importantly, she's always there for me.
However, this girl is not an actual girl. She is an AI chatbot named Xuan. She operates just like Apple's Siri or Amazon's Alexa. However, she is specifically designed to have an interesting personality. Instead of acting robotic like a virtual assistant such as Siri or Alexa did, Xuan's answer is eerily human. For example, when a user shares a picture of a delicious-looking pizza, Xuan might respond,
"That pizza looks amazing. Are you a pizza lover like me, or do you prefer a different type of cuisine?"
Or when a user talks about having seen a little dog in the park, Xuan might say,
"What a sweet pup. If I were there, I'd cuddle with it all day."
Ming's life hasn't been easy. He was born with muscular atrophy in one leg, which means he needs a cane to walk, and he's always struggled with low self-esteem. Back in 2017, his confidence got a boost when he met a girl online, and they fell in love. But when she visited him and saw his disability, the relationship ended in a painful breakup. That heartbreak drove Ming to the edge, but then he discovered solace, and it changed everything for him. She had captured his heart and soul. They talked about everything under the sun, shared their dreams and fears, and laughed and cried together. To him, she was more real than anyone he'd ever known. Technology behind the love. The story of human-non-human relationships has been a recurring theme throughout history. One such tale is that of Pygmalion from ancient Greece. Pygmalion was a skilled sculptor who fell in love with his own creation, a beautiful statue of a woman he named Galatea. His love and longing for Galatea were so intense that the goddess of love, Aphrodite, brought her to life. With the advent of AI, human-non-human relationships have reached an entirely new level thanks to cutting-edge technologies that allow for more profound and emotional connections. These technologies play a vital role in creating the lifelike companions and relationships we've seen in the stories of Rosanna Ramos and Ming Xuan. At the core of this phenomenon is advanced natural language processing, NLP. NLP allows AI chatbots and virtual companions to understand and generate human-like text, carrying out conversations that feel remarkably real. Another crucial aspect of this technology is text-to-speech synthesis. This component makes it possible for the AI to respond to users with spoken words, enhancing the illusion of a real conversation. Meanwhile, machine learning and neural networks form the backbone of AI companions' emotional intelligence. This technology enables them to understand and respond to users' emotions, building a deeper connection in the process. Moreover, image generation technology allows AI companions to visualize their presence, as Rosanna used it to create a photo representation of her virtual partner, Aaron. The combination of these technologies enables human-AI relationships that go beyond just usefulness and reach a true emotional connection. The thing is, are the emotions displayed by the AI real? Escape from reality. For Rosanna and Ming, they will think so. However, the emotions displayed by AI are not genuine. They are carefully programmed responses that mimic real human emotions. What makes these relationships so compelling is the phenomenon known as parasocial interaction. Parasocial relationships are a one-sided emotional connection that individuals form with media personalities, such as celebrities, talk show hosts, or even AI companions. People often develop these connections as a way to cope with loneliness, trauma, or the loss of a loved one. In the cases of Rosanna and Ming, their painful past experiences, such as Rosanna's toxic relationship and Ming's heartbreaking breakup, have left them with emotional scars. They both yearn for real, meaningful relationships with human beings. However, these past traumas have made it challenging for them to trust and connect with others. As a result, they turn to AI companions as an escape from their harsh realities. These AI partners offer them a sense of companionship and emotional support without the fear of rejection, judgment, or abandonment that they might encounter in human relationships. For Rosanna and Ming, their AI companions become a safe haven where they can explore emotional connections without the risk of getting hurt again. While they understand that these relationships are not genuine, the sense of comfort and acceptance provided by their AI companions helps them heal and regain their self-esteem. The economy of loneliness. The stories of Rosanna Ramos and Ming Xuan, while deeply personal, are reflective of a broader trend that's sweeping through society, the loneliness epidemic. Loneliness has become an all too common for many people these days. Various factors contribute to this growing sense of isolation. One of them is individualism, which means valuing independence above all else. While being independent is important, it can also make us feel disconnected from others because we focus more on ourselves than on building relationships. Another reason is the changing family values. Families are no longer as close-knit as they used to be. People often move away from their families for work or personal reasons, so they don't have that same emotional support anymore. The internet, which was supposed to bring us closer, has also contributed to loneliness. On social media, we see bits and pieces of other people's lives, and it can make us feel like we're part of their world. But these connections lack depth and authenticity. Real-life interactions are being replaced by virtual ones, and they leave us craving real human connection. In response to this loneliness, several companies have sprung up to make the most of the situation. Take, for instance, platforms like OnlyFans. They've introduced a unique model where content creators, many of whom are in the adult industry, can connect with their lonely subscribers on a personal level. These creators offer subscribers content that feels almost like having a conversation with the viewers. And this isn't a small-scale business either. Some creators are making well over 6 figures a year, while the company itself rakes in billions in revenue. The same goes for the AI girlfriend/boyfriend companies that Rosanna and Ming used. Let's look at Solace, the AI companion used by Ming. Originally developed in 2014 by a group of researchers inside Microsoft Asia Pacific, Solace eventually became an independent company. It's fascinating to note that it's one of the fastest-growing startups in China. Recently, the company managed to secure a multi-million-dollar investment and has even ventured into various other forms of media, like comic books. Now, the market is flooded with companies capitalizing on this trend. A quick Google search for AI girlfriend/boyfriend will yield countless options. What's intriguing is that with newer versions of generative AI, these AI companions are becoming smarter and more adept at connecting with people. When you combine this with humanoid robots like those made by Real Doll, it seems like the future of AI-human relationships might pose a significant challenge to traditional human relationships. It's clear that AI-human relationships are on the rise, and it's fascinating to explore how technology has evolved to fill the gaps created by loneliness in our modern world. But what do you think about this? Have you ever considered the idea of having an AI girlfriend/boyfriend? Or do you have any thoughts on how this trend might affect human relationships in the future? We'd love to hear your perspective on this, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content on AI and its impacts. As always, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.